Really big day in Major League Baseball yesterday. Tarik Skubal with an enormous arbitration win. We're going to talk about how that affects his trade status and what it really means to the market. Don't close the door on a Nico or Shaw trade to the Red Sox, according to some writers in Boston. And can Moises Ballesteros offset the loss of Kyle Tucker? That's all big questions, and we're going to answer them on the show. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Thanks for hanging here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Good to see you guys, and let's get, as they say, this party started. Oh, yes, here we are again, and another day closer to pitchers and catchers reporting to Mesa, Arizona for spring training. I'm Mick Gillespie. Thanks for being here. Thank you guys for watching, and a lot of you guys watch on a daily basis. If this is your first time, this is your home for Cubs baseball. I've been a Cubs fan myself for over 40 years and have worked in the organization for 20. All of these opinions here are mine, and a lot of them come from experience, sometimes just a gut feeling. And as a Cubs fan, maybe it's because I got my fingers crossed. All right, look, thank you. Subscribe, be part of the channel, comment, and all that stuff. All right, let me get into it right now. I think the biggest thing that I wanted to talk about today is the Nico or Shaw trade or no trade to the Red Sox. And I kind of felt like this was trending in a direction where you got spring training coming. You know, are you going to, when pitchers and catchers report, going to want to move guys during spring training, make a deal during spring training? And it's something that I don't think the Cubs do a lot. I'm not saying they wouldn't do it. But the Red Sox, you know, they're a team that is known for kind of doing that. And it was interesting when you start kind of looking at their past and the fact that, maybe there's still a potential to make a deal like this. And you look at the past and, Trevor Story and Alex Bregman last year, JD Martinez, they all signed during as free agents during spring training. So they, the Red Sox aren't afraid to go into spring training and, and maybe pull the trigger on something late. Obviously this has to do with what the Cubs are willing to make happen or not make happen, right? So Red Sox insider Ian Brown from MLB.com is the one that still thinks that there's a potential for a big acquisition by the Sox at some point, right? And Nico Hoerner's kind of been in the talks here. You guys know the deal. He's a really good player. It's a 1 year, and then he's a free agent type situation. Or Matt Shaw, who's from the area, grew up a Red Sox fan like everybody else, and would be kind of like, more of a lottery ticket than Nico, who you know what you're going to get, but you don't have to re-sign him, right? He's under control, former first-round pick, and he can help you maybe every day at second base. It's a risk. Nico's not a risk. Nico's not going to be there long if he is there. I think Nico's coming back. I think the Cubs would be fools if they want to try to contend for the World Series to trade Nico Hoerner, unless they got something back in return. And some of our Red Sox viewers will send me potential packages that, hey, this could be it or this could be it. Cubs are going to want a ransom to get Nico or Shaw, and the Red Sox may be willing to pay that because you look at their roster right now, and they just don't have, even with the signing of Kiner Falefa, any kind of a bat with these infielders that they're going to be rotating. And some of these guys may hit, but there's no sure thing like Alex Bregman, who, by the way, we got. Now, the second topic on today's show. This is not a shocker to me at all. I know a lot of people in the game were shocked when Tarik Skubal got the biggest arbitration in the history of the game. Okay. But his agent, Scott Boras, was clever, brilliant, however you want to call it, just the way that he presented the arbitration case, right? He basically leveraged a clause in the CBA that allows players with 5 years of Major League Baseball service time to compare themselves not to prior arbitration players, but open market prices for free agents. So this gave the arbitration board the opportunity to actually pay the value of what Skubal would be if he was a free agent. And he killed it. And it makes perfect sense. He got $32 million. He's the best pitcher in baseball. I said this yesterday. Last year, he made $13 million. So he got a huge raise. And what was weird is that the Tigers were willing to go 19 in the arbitration. So I think the way you're either going one way or the other. And obviously Skubal got that. Now he's back-to-back. What is he? He's the reigning Cy Young Award winner. He's won the award twice. I think he's got the best stuff in the game. I think that the Tigers are now, and I don't know if they expected that to happen or not. Like, they went out and signed Valdez for the rotation. I'm sure they were probably, think about the timing of this. You go and you make the deal for Valdez, and now all of a sudden you thought maybe you'd pay $19 million. No, you're paying $32. You're paying market value now for the two-time reigning AL Cy Young Award winner. And I don't think that the Tigers are a big market team financially. And so the Tigers payroll with Framber Valdez signing a 3-year deal and then this is going to be off the chart. Now, I think they'll make the money back. I really do. Because there's a lot of Tigers fans, and this is an exciting team now. This is a team. The American League had some really fun teams in that postseason. Tigers, Mariners, and the Blue Jays. Those three teams all went out now and have just beefed up. I still think, and some of you guys have inboxed me, and I love the comments too. I still think that the Tigers would trade Skubal, but they'd have to get back a big package, right? And like I was talking about for the Cubs, and I saw this, I think on Bleacher Report, somebody put it out there, but they were like, okay, let's see here. They'd take Matt Shaw, and they would take, the last year's first round pick, Conrad, and then they would take Jackson Wiggins, and they may take, Moises Ballesteros, who knows, right? But at least 4 guys or something that, that are going to have to get in there and be like top-notch players. I don't know. I'm just making that up, but that's the kind of package it would take for this guy. And if I was the Cubs and I could get him at $19 million, maybe I'm a little bit more willing to do it. Now, at $32 million, a lot of teams aren't like the Dodgers, and they're going to balk at that. But it's a 1-year deal for the best pitcher in the game. And if the Tigers keep their roster where it is right now, they're going to be, obviously they're going to be paying a lot of money, but they're going to have a legitimate rotation. This is, and remember them last year. They were way up on everybody. They fell apart. Then they barely got into the playoffs after they were the the best team in the American League there for a while. And then they get in the playoffs and they got it back together again. We pull for Javi Baez, Almago. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it makes it more difficult to trade Skubal at $32 million compared to 13, right? The money does matter. Now, the last thing I wanted to talking about Moises Ballesteros is reading a story in Yahoo Sports. They were talking about replacing production left by Kyle Tucker. And this was a story by Jared Bloom. And he was basically talking about how the Cubs are going to have Moises Ballesteros hit because he's a left-hander and you don't have Kyle Tucker. And he's not, obviously, he's a catcher. We've talked about this before. There's going to be a reluctance to play him at catcher. That's always been the problem with him. But the good thing is the guy can mash. I think he's going to do a great job hitting the ball. I really do. I'm curious to see how Ballesteros is going to look on the roster and actually getting an opportunity a lot, because he is just a really good pure hitter. Hand-eye coordination, great wrists. He's able to adjust the pitches. He can catch up with the heat, and he can slow down for the changeups. But can he do this at a consistent level at the major leagues? And this will be like the first full season to test it out. He's definitely going to struggle because they all do, but I think he's really good. And when they said that, and I'm reading that, but Ballesteros pressure on him, I was like, yeah, you're going to have pressure on you, because that's what this game is. You got to step up. And the way that the Cubs roster is constructed right now, they really need a big contribution out of him. All right, look, guys, thanks for hanging. We're like a week away from pitchers and catchers. I'm watching videos. There's Seiya Suzuki. He's stretching. He's getting ready to go. Guys are already showing up to camp. I saw Matt Shaw, taking a picture with somebody. Like, I love it, man. I spent, a decade going to spring training every year and broadcasting the games on Cubs.com, and it was just so exciting this time of year, getting out there, setting up, doing the games. I miss those days, the old webcast days. But I'm telling you, it's going to be a great, really fun, exciting camp. And I'm glad we're going to get to spend it together here on the channel. So like, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the bell. Thanks for being a part of this. And as I close it out every day, go Cubs.